If you are like me and enjoy a five-star experience but want to maximize your time and your dollars spent when you're taking a family vacation, I have a place that is just the ultimate for families with children, couples, someone looking to get away and just check into one place and never leave. I just recently stayed at the Boca Raton. That's the name of the resort. It's in Boca Raton, Florida. I had not been there in many, many years. I grown up going to Florida, but this was an experience that was really elevated from any other hotel that I've stayed at in the area. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanna. I'm a mom and entrepreneur, and I am your go-to guide for lifestyle and wellness. So we flew into Miami. I'm coming from LA, and basically the options as far as flying are a little bit limited from here. But what I do love for everyone else is there's 3 different airports that you can choose from. So you can fly into Palm Beach, you can fly into Fort Lauderdale, or you can fly into Miami. They're all within an hour of this hotel. Once you get to the site, the best part for me was never having to leave. I didn't even have to think about it. And I love to plan trips and check out the newest restaurants and things like that. Everything is on site with this one. So they have partnered with Major Food Group, which brings you, Carbone and all of these amazing restaurants that people are dying to get into. When you get to the Boca Raton, it is only open to people who are members. So a lot of locals join as members. So you get this local vibe of people that just love being there and being a part of this community. And then it is reserved for resort guests. So every morning you don't need a reservation or anything for breakfast. We had breakfast on site at Siddell's, which is a favorite of mine in New York City. It's an amazing brunch spot. So you can do a full sit down brunch, or you can, they have like a little to-go bar with their bagels and pastries and all the goods. If you know Siddell's, then you know. So we have Siddell's there for breakfast. We've got just so many options for dinner. Again, I never left the property site. I was there for 4 days. I was there for a wedding, which was also spectacular. So amazing wedding venue. But because I was there for a wedding, I only got to experience 2 different restaurants. I went to Marisol, which is this amazing beachfront resort. That's another thing I'll get into later in this video, which is that this property is different hotels within a hotel, right? So I stayed on kind of like the main land, which I would definitely recommend if you have children. That part of the hotel has all the pools and things like that. But on the beach side, which you can access via a water taxi or a shuttle that runs, all day and night, basically, you can have this beachfront dining experience. So I went to Marisol. Amazing food. I love Mediterranean cuisine. It's just a total vibe. So that was night 1. The next night we went to their Japanese bocce restaurant, which was really cool because I'm traveling with a 2-year-old and she loves this bocce court. So you can dine and you can sit outside and your kids can play in the bocce court. So no sitter, no problem. That's another thing that I do love about this resort. They are very, very, very kid friendly. If you are traveling with little ones, they have this kids club. Unfortunately, my daughter was not at the age requirement. So if you're traveling with 4-year-olds, you're going to score at this hotel because you can bring them to the kids play area. You can pay by the hour and get a little bit of adult time and a break if you need it. So back to the restaurant. So the Japanese bocce place was great. My family dined at some other restaurants. They have this restaurant called Principessa, which is again, Carbone vibes. So I think that would be something that I would love to check out next time. Again, no shortage of restaurants to choose from here. Moving on to the daytime. So daytime, we've got this amazing pool with basically different areas. So if you want adult time, there's the adult pool. If you want to be on the beach, you take the water taxi back to where I had dinner. We did the beach one day. It was great. I forgot how much I love those East Coast summers living in LA. I really appreciate the warm water. So I spent some time in the Atlantic Ocean. It was a great refresh. Then back on the pool side, you've got multiple restaurants, bars. So the pool is definitely a vibe. The kids will love it. There are slides that you do need to be a little bit older for. So again, my daughter is not there yet. I want to go back when she is of the right age and height requirement. So the main event slides, the kids have to be 48 inches, but they have younger kids slides, they have a lazy river. So again, it's just a one-stop shop. Once you are, done with the pool thing, if you love golf and fitness and tennis as much as I do, they've got you covered here as well. There's a golf course on site. It looks incredible. I didn't get to play, but again, this is something I'm saving for a future visit. I did sign up for tennis lessons. They have tennis clinics, which you can drop in. They have pickleball. So the tennis it's clay courts. It's another great amenity. It was right across the way from my hotel room, which was in the Cloister. So again, I'll get into the different layers of the hotel because I had a little bit of a hard time figuring out which part of the hotel to stay in. So we'll jump back to that a little bit later in the video. But the tennis and fitness center were right by my room in the Cloister. The fitness center, 10 out of 10. I am a gym person, as you know, if you are subscribed to my channel. They've got not just this really great gym, but they also have like 4 or 5 fitness classes a day. So you want yoga, you want Pilates, you want something, you know, a little more strength training oriented, they've got you covered. So you get the schedule before you get down there and plan out your day. So getting back to the room setup, when I was looking at the rooms, which I booked through Amex Platinum, I have another video that covers all the benefits of how I use my Amex card. I'll touch on a little bit in this video. But basically, I saw on American Express, there were a couple of different room types. So they have like the water club, which I think is more for adults, you know, adult only. You want to get away as a couple, great place to stay. You can stay on the beach side of the resort where I had dinner at Marisol. Again, another great option. What I chose was the Cloister because all of the events that I was going to for the wedding and things like that were in the Cloister. The Cloister is kind of like the heart of the hotel. So that's where you check in. That's where some of these restaurants are. They have shops. They have a members only club. So again, the Cloister is just kind of the center of it all. That's where the Siddell's breakfast spot is. So I was personally a big fan of the Cloister. I also traveled with a dog. They were very gracious to my dog, which makes me so happy. The concierge on site at the Cloister gave him treats every day, much appreciated. So that was my choice, but there are also bungalows, which my friends stayed in. So if you're traveling with children or with a family, you can get a great deal on these bungalows. They're like a full apartment with multiple bedrooms. So that's another great option if you need the extra space. It's just going to be a little bit further away. You might have to take a shuttle back and forth. So for me, I was more about the convenience of being in the heart of everything. Going into the American Express, I'll just touch on that. You can watch my full-length video on how I use the Amex Platinum card to max out travel stays like this. But what I did was I booked through my American Express. They gave me a $120 breakfast credit to use every day at Siddell's, which was great. They gave me a $100 resort credit to use on site. And they also gave me a 4 p.m. late checkout. My sister checked in early. She was able to get an early check-in at 11 a.m., which is an amazing perk. So the hotel is definitely on the pricier side. I'm sure the rates vary within season and weekdays and things like that. You're probably going to spend about $700 a night on a basic room. But for that price that you pay, especially if you book with American Express, there's a lot of perks within. Think about all the money you save, not getting taxis, not leaving the hotel site. You just check in and you don't leave the entire time that you're there. So, you know, for the money that I spent, I think it was a really good value. I'm looking forward to doing more family trips. As I mentioned, I live in LA. My family's in New York City and in Florida. So it's just a great meeting spot for us. And the vibe there, it's really on point. I was impressed with Boca. I think that, you know, this part of South Florida that may have been a little bit sleepy compared to a city like Miami back in the day is just really a place that has been undervalued, and people in recent years have got the memo. Boca is the spot. If you'd like more tips on how I travel as a toddler mom like a pro, it's not always easy, but I make it work and we make the best memories. Make sure to check out my video on how I use the American Express Platinum card to maximize all of our vacations with late checkouts, credits to use on site, points, you get 5 times the points. I'm saving all of the tips for my next video, so make sure you check it out and look into how I travel luxuriously, but also on a budget.